We made it back to China. More details on how we moved abroad to come in this video and future videos to come. So are you, my friend, looking for a less intense way to achieve FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retiring Early? Look no further than Coast FIRE. Coast FIRE is arguably the most simple and most effective way to join the FIRE movement, and that's why we love it so much. It provides a clear and concise path to FIRE without the overwhelming financial jargon and stress. My wife and I hit Coast FIRE this year. Woo! This allowed us to quit our 9-to-5 jobs, move abroad to China, and more fully pursue our passions in life. I want to welcome you back to our Be Sooner FIRE Journey channel, where things have taken a shift from the US to China. Here we will continue to share our financial freedom stories and more on how we achieved Coast FIRE and semi-retired here in China. If you find today's video helpful on where I share all about Coast FIRE, please hit that like button and subscribe for more on our journey. Now, what is this Coast FIRE term? You may have heard of it before and you may have not. Coast FIRE is a popular retirement strategy involving saving enough money so that your nest egg can grow without additional contributions. Once you reach Coast FIRE, you will no longer need to save for retirement. How crazy is that? Instead, you only need to live or work off passive income to pay for current living expenses. This allows you to enjoy a more relaxed lifestyle and focus on activities you enjoy rather than simply working to earn a paycheck. To achieve Coast FIRE, it is essential to start saving early and invest in a diversified mix of assets. Coast FIRE provides individuals with financial security in retirement and is an excellent opportunity for those looking to retire at the typical retirement age. So how much should you save to reach Coast FIRE? The Coast FIRE calculation considers variables like age, income, and expenses to determine how much you need to save each month to reach your goal. While no fixed sum will satisfy everyone's retirement needs, a rough estimate is often considered 25 times your annual expenses, which is your FI or FIRE number. Let's say that your monthly expenses at retirement will be $1,300 a month. You will need $15,600 a year and $390,000 to cover expenses for 25 years. This is based on the 4% rule, which states that you can withdraw 4% of your savings each year after retirement without running out of money. So you'll want to ensure that you have enough money in your investment accounts to grow passively without contributions so that can grow and reach that FIRE number by the time you retire. Once you hit that number, you will have reached Coast FIRE. Coast FIRE can be a helpful tool for anyone who wants to retire early or achieve financial independence. So the Coast FIRE approach is very simple. You save a certain percent of your income and invest it in a way that will generate a passive income stream. However, there are a few components that you'll need to be aware of before beginning. First, you must calculate how much you need to save to reach your retirement goals. Second, you need to choose the right investment vehicle for your needs. And third, estimate how long you'll need to keep your money invested. Let's share a Coast FIRE example to help you out. The formula for determining a Coast FIRE number begins with a regular FIRE number, estimated to be 25 times annual spending. So for example, if somebody spends $15,000 annually, the regular FIRE number would be $1,250,000. The Coast FIRE number is then determined by dividing the FIRE number, that regular FIRE number, by 1 plus annual growth rate to the power of years to grow. So in this example, if it is assumed that it will take 30 years to reach the regular FIRE number and the average annual growth rate over those 30 years is 7%, the calculation would look like this. $1,250,000 divided by 1 plus 0.07 to the 30th power, or years. And this equals, drumroll please, $164,209. Therefore, the Coast FIRE number in this example would be that amount of $164,209. It should be noted that this number is only an estimate and may vary depending on individual circumstances. And if you invest wisely, there's a good chance you can have over 7% of that annual return rate. But this formula provides a helpful starting point for anyone looking to save for a comfortable retirement. To sum things up, here are two ways that you can calculate your Coast FIRE number. Number one, Use the formula from the example I just shared. You can adjust your annual return rate and use an exponential calculator for the number of years for it to compound. Then divide that number by your FIRE number. Number 2, use a reliable investment calculator to see how much your investments will grow without added contributions. I personally love to use the Dave Ramsey investment calculator. Go online and check it out. Now, what are the benefits of achieving this CoastFire number? It is so amazing, and my wife and I are living CoastFire right now, which I'll share more on our story in future videos to come. But let's discuss these benefits in more depth. Number 1 is that you can achieve financial independence and retire early. So the real reason anyone would want to achieve FIRE is to retire early and live life on your own terms. And CoastFire makes this very possible. Once you reach your CoastFire number, you can quit your job and enjoy a life full of leisure. All you need to do is have work to cover daily expenses. Number 2, you don't have to worry about outliving your savings. How many people do you know personally who are worried about running out of money in retirement? With CoastFire, you don't have to worry about this. As long as you have your CoastFire number saved up, you can live off of passive income streams for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. Number 3, you can still retire even if your investment portfolio takes a hit. We all know that the stock market is volatile, and it's impossible to predict what will happen exactly in the future. However, with CoastFire, you don't have to even worry about this. Even if your investments take a hit, you can still retire if you have your Coast number saved up and you have other fail-safes in place. For example, diversified investments, emergency savings, passive income streams. So what are some potential risks associated with CoastFire? Number 1 is not saving enough consistently. The biggest risk of CoastFire is that you might not reach your CoastFire number if you don't save enough money. This is why it's so important to make sure that you're saving as much as you can each month. My wife and I in the past have been able to save over 50% of our income as a family of 3. Now we're a family of 4. So it's definitely possible to increase your savings rate and decrease your spending. If you're unsure of ways that you can save money, think about ways you can decrease spending and increase income. One way you can simply increase your savings and investing rate is by micro-investing. We personally love Acorns, which is a popular platform that can round up money from purchases and automatically allocate those funds to diversified investments. You can check out them today and receive a $20 bonus investment using the link below. Number 2, losing patience and quitting. Another risk of CoastFire is that you might not be able to retire as early as you want. This is because it can take a long time to reach your CoastFire number. If you lose patience, you might get frustrated and give up on the whole idea. But the truth is that anybody can reach financial freedom through hard work and perseverance. Number 3, lack of discipline and focus. When life gets comfortable, we tend to get lazy with our finances. Once you hit CoastFire, life may seem easier, but it's important to monitor all money decisions and transactions consistently. You cannot all of a sudden increase spending and get into more debt. Just make sure that you don't miss anything with your finances and ensure all expenses are accounted for. If you own your own business, make sure that you have the proper legal protection in place as well. So you may have heard of another term called Flamingo Fire. So I want to touch on the differences real quick here between Flamingo Fire and CoastFire. For those of you who do not know yet, Flamingo Fire is where you work until you have saved up about half or 50% of your FIRE retirement number. Then you can semi-retire and let your investments grow passively to retire within 10 to 15 years. So it's a type of CoastFire, but Flamingo Fire, depending on your age, could mean less time coasting to more quickly hit full fire. Flamingo Fire is a great option for those who are willing to sacrifice a bit longer to build up investments that reach 50% of their nest egg number. Now, what's the difference between Barista Fire and CoastFire? So Barista Fire is where you work part-time to collect health insurance benefits. It's called Barista Fire because Starbucks gives health insurance to those who are working part-time. Many people in the FIRE movement work at Starbucks as baristas simply for health insurance benefits. There are times that healthcare costs can get out of hand, especially as you age. And if a good health insurance plan doesn't cover you, you could end up losing a lot of money. So Barista Fire is an excellent option for those who want to ensure they're covered by health insurance. The difference between Barista Fire and CoastFire is that you have a job. You're still working, but the sole purpose behind your employment is health insurance and not much more. As with any other FIRE strategy, there are risks and rewards. It's essential to understand both before you decide if CoastFire is right for you. But if you're looking for a FIRE strategy that is very simple and you can do from anywhere in the world, such as China, CoastFire might be the perfect option. As you look for different forms of fire, you'll find that each has its unique set of pros and cons. It's very important to understand everything before you decide which form of fire is right for you. Coast fire is great if you're looking to semi-retire and enjoy life without worrying about money. So if you're looking for an easy and stress-free way to join the fire movement, Coast Fire might be the right option for you. It sure is for us right now. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe for more on our journey. More details to come on how we achieved Coast Fire and how we're living it now.